Hey guys, Tennessee.AgStacker here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me as I love making these videos. Also, head over to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages and follow me there for daily pictures and videos. All links are in the description below. Today we're going to go over a few questions you should be asking yourself pertaining to why you are stacking silver. There are a few things that you are going to want to work out before you start stacking, and also as just a new stacker in general. You should be able to answer these few questions. So the first question for me would be, why are you stacking silver? There has to be a reason. For me, I'm stacking silver as a way for me to build a savings account and just as my retirement. For many others, their main reason could be stacking as a hedge against inflation. Now, that is obviously something that is very important to me as well, but my main reason for stacking was because I just could not keep money in my bank account. I would go out and spend the few dollars that I had on just pointless things. And in the end, I would have nothing to show for it. So that's, again, one of the biggest reasons why I started stacking was to be able to have some money in a savings account that isn't connected to my bank account. Now, for the inflation, I was recently watching a video and they used the example of, say, $1 worth of quarters back from 1960s, back when the U.S. was still on the gold standard. And he explained how back then a quarter could get you a gallon of milk and a few other items from the store. And now, if you were to use a quarter that's the same 1960s quarter, you can still get a gallon of milk and maybe a few other things. So the precious metals helps with keeping the true value. And if you can't keep the true value and you're relying on the paper money, you are losing out on the value because of inflation. So now today, if I spent a quarter at the store, I could get something from a quarter machine that maybe costs 2 cents over in China to produce. You can't get anything of value out of a quarter nowadays. But if you were to have a silver quarter, you still have actual value where you can actually purchase the same amount from back in the 60s. So these dimes out here, I could spend, 2 of these and get a gallon of gas right now. If I were to spend a dime that doesn't have silver content in it, then I'd be getting nothing. I don't even think you could find anything for 10 cents anymore. It's near impossible. That inflation has just killed the dollar value, and being able to print an endless amount of money like they do nowadays, it's just outrageous. It's made the US dollar worth absolutely nothing. It's just made up money that the US government is just printing and printing and printing. And there's nothing to back it. So as our government is printing this money and just making it up out of thin air, it's eventually the normal civilians are going to give up in trusting it. This type of standard only has value if people trust it. Once people stop trusting it, that's when it's going to fail, and that's when hopefully they go back to the silver, the gold standard, the actual precious metals that has been worth something since the beginning of time. So the first question was why you should stack silver, or what your purpose is for stacking silver. Now, a second question should be your budget. What type of a budget are you going to have when it comes to stacking a precious metal? It's tough, especially for me. It's tough to be able to have any extra money right now for me to go out and purchase silver and gold. I have not purchased any gold myself. My good friend, Pastor Mo, sent this 1 gram gold to me as a gift. And again, Pastor Mo, thank you very much. But I don't have that big of a budget. And to tell the truth, over the past few months, I really haven't bought much silver. I think I bought 4 ounces over the past few months. I did win this in a giveaway, which is a 1 ounce poured silver piece. I recently just won a 1/2 ounce silver piece as well in a GAW. So my budget just right now isn't there. And that's something you really want to think about when you're starting to stack, is what is your budget going to be? Are you going to be able to purchase, say, 1 ounce a week? Or are you going to be stuck with not being able to purchase anything like myself for now? And this wasn't how I started out. In the beginning, I had enough money I could go out and buy 1 ounce or 2 every 2 weeks, I would try to. And then Christmas came around, and along with, I had problems with the VA. They actually didn't pay me for, I think it was a month and a half. So everything was going on credit cards. I had no savings whatsoever. Everything was going onto credit cards. And the bills just started racking up and racking up. So you really want to set a budget of what you can afford in order to be stacking. One of the biggest things that I've seen is people will be getting into stacking and they will overspend. They will go out and get a couple 10 ounce bars, okay? Which I only have a 5 ounce. But they'll go out and get a couple 10 ounce bars. And they'll just be overspending. And eventually, that money that they had is going to run out. They're going to actually have to start paying bills. And then you're going to have to go and sell back your silver. That's something that you really want to try and avoid. I've been successful at it so far. Now, it has come really, really close to where I would have to sell my silver. And I've been doing everything I can to not have it come to that. So again, make sure you have a budget. Make sure you can also, I guess, start putting money into savings as well, so that if you would look at it, I guess, in this kind of way, purchasing the silver could be another bill. It's another monthly expense. Although you're not really spending money, you're transferring your fiat currency into a precious metal of true value. So again, you pay your bills, you put some money into savings, and one of those new bills is purchasing a precious metal. Another question you should be able to answer before you start stacking is, what is going to be your stacking strategy? Is your strategy going to be more along the lines of collectors? Are you going to be spending that extra money in order to get a piece that is collectible, that is an MS-70, or are you going to be a stacker that is stacking for weight? I mean, there's many different reasons, and if you're going to be a collector, you have to be prepared to pay those high premiums on different like coins, or even, they have generic collector pieces as well. But you have to be able to bring yourself to paying that extra money for that same ounce of silver, or 5 ounces or 10 ounces. It's not something that, for me, I can personally bring myself to do. My strategy is stacking for weight, and it's changed a little bit over time. At first, I was going to focus on American Silver Eagles, and then after talking to my local coin shop, he showed me the true difference and showed me that, yes, I'm going to receive a little bit more when I go to sell back, say, American Silver Eagle. I'll be getting more back, but the amount of money that I spent for that premium is just too far apart. And that's, if you go and get a generic piece, that premium is a lot smaller. So he said that when I go to sell back my silver, if I'm selling back generic, I'm going to be getting spot, roughly. And if I was going to be selling back the American Silver Eagle, I might be getting $1.50 over spot. But yet I paid, especially right now, I paid, say, $10 on top of the current spot price. Yet I'm only going to get $1.50 when I sell it back over spot. So to me, that the way he explained it to me, and it just made a lot more sense to stack for weight and not stack anything that had just too much of a premium. So you're going to have to ask yourself, what is your strategy going to be? Do you have one? There are many videos out there on YouTube that will help you understand the different strategies and will help you determine what you want to do for stacking your precious metals. What do you guys think of these few questions that you should be asking yourself? Are these questions that you've asked? Am I just blowing smoke? And what other questions were you asking yourself or other stackers when you started out? Because again, everyone starts out from nothing. Everyone goes out and buys their first piece of silver, which this one was one of two, because I had purchased, I ended up selling, well, not selling, I guess transferring. I had to pay a little extra for an American Silver Eagle, but this was my first piece of silver. My favorite piece, or I guess I wouldn't say my favorite piece. I guess it has a lot of meaning, but over time it's quite obvious for me which ones are my favorite pieces that I have, and it's not some things that you would expect. Like, you wouldn't expect one of my favorite pieces to be copper, which I now have 2 copper rounds, and that's just because of the story behind them and the awesome acts of kindness that people have been doing. And again, I said earlier that Pastor Mo got me this Sunshine Mint 1 gram piece. It changes over time. And I did say, obviously, that anything that people are sending me, I'm not going to try and profit off of. I'm going to keep, even after I sell my stack, because they were thoughtful gifts that just mean a lot. They mean a lot to me. I can't bring myself to profit off of someone's kindness. So yeah, what do you guys think? What are some other questions? What would you have asked stackers when you first started stacking? This is something that really helped me, and being able to answer a few simple questions helped me form my strategy, helped me understand why I was stacking, and understand the value of precious metals and how you can maintain or even grow in value over time. So let me know down in the comments, because this is something I would like to do another video on this later on with some more advanced questions. Right now I'm just sticking to the basics. But that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified when I post my weekly videos. Also, head over to my Instagram and Twitter pages and follow me for daily updates. I hope you had a good week and a great day. I'll see you next time.